Jane Hayes.
Tēnā koe. Ka nui te mihi atu o ki whānau no Papawai me rangitāne ki Wairarapa me Ngāti Kahanunu ki Wairarapa hoki. Kia ora, nau mai, haere mai. I stand to take a call in the Papawai and Kaikokirikiri Trust Amendment Bill, shepherded through the House to the third reading by my colleague here, Alistair Scott. And Mr Speaker, my colleagues have outlined the purpose of the bill very eloquently, and it is, as I've said in previous contributions that I've had in the House, it is a bill that's been modernised, it's been brought up to date, so as the governors of Papawai and the Kaikokirikiri Trust can get on and do the work that they have been doing over the years that the Trust has been in action for, Mr Speaker. But I guess for my contribution for the third reading, I want to talk a little bit about the whakapapa around Papawai, because it is around the marae Papawai, and it's key to the basis of this trust, because without the history around that, this trust would never have come into being. And it is a trust that, Papawai marae has been a marae that used to be one of the biggest marae in Aotearoa, Mr Speaker. And many people, many Māori looked up to the Papawai marae because of its history around being the first Māori Parliament, the kotahitanga, its history around the education background that emanated from Papawai marae, Mr Speaker. And that is why when we look at the whakapapa behind Papawai marae, we can see that its maunga is Tararua, its awa is Ruamahanga, and its marae is Papawai. And the whakapapa cements the relationships that have gone through over and over in that area, Mr Speaker. It is something that binds all of us, and when I say it binds all of us, I'm saying myself, I am saying Meka Whaitiri, Matiria Ture, Ron Mark, we all whakapapa. And Marama Fox, we all whakapapa to that marae, Mr Speaker, and it is no wonder when we look at the history of Māori MPs. I think this would be the first time in the history of this Parliament that we have representation of MPs, Māori MPs, that whakapapa to that one marae, Mr Speaker. And that is something that can be proud, because that's the education background, and that's the kaha and the mana that comes from being a descendant of Papawai marae, Mr Speaker. That's the educational background that we all stem from, Mr Speaker. And I'm very proud that they are sitting up there, our whānau that are sitting up there in the gallery, and they are witnessing today the updating of the Papawai and Kaikokirikiri Trust Amendment Bill, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, as I said before, Papawai marae was revered throughout the country. It was looked upon. And I can say that the ancestors, or the major lines that made up Papawai, Mr Speaker, came from Paikea Ira Tūroto, which connected the northeast, south, and the original Wellington tribes, Mr Speaker. It was also Whātongo that connected Papawai to the Rangitāne tribes, and it was Tamatia that connected our people to the Takitumu tribes. That's why it's really, really important that I put this in the House today as part of my final contribution, because I don't know whether it has been said in as many words, but I do want to put that, Mr Speaker. As we were talking about as I was talking about the bill, Mr Speaker, the Select Committee received a number of submissions to this bill, and everybody around our table at our Select Committee were all in favour of what was to eventuate today, Mr Speaker. We too want to see the Papawai and Kaikokirikiri Trust go forward and help not just the tamariki from Wairarapa and Kahanunu, but right along the east coast, Mr Speaker, actually throughout the whole of the motu who have whakapapa lines into Papawai and Wairarapa, Mr Speaker. This is an important stepping stone, because there are other Māori trusts in the that our tamariki can access education scholarships from. But this particular trust, Mr. Speaker, it comes with a lot of good history behind it, Mr. Speaker. It has been run very smoothly, and it could be the fact that of the education prowess that actually emanate out of Papawai. It could be a number of things, but the way that the Trust has actually worked with the Anglican Church to be able to deliver various scholarships and that to a number of our tamariki, it's credence to the work that they continue to do, Mr. Speaker. I was fortunate enough to visit Papawai, or was it a couple of years ago with John Hayes, not a relation of mine, but an MP here, and I took a group of students, overseas students, onto the marae, and the kaha and the feeling that you get when you enter that marae, when you see the tiko, the po that surround it, and they all look into it, and most po stick out, as a protection thing. Well, these po actually look in, and that is to actually look after, they're nurturing the people in that marae, Mr. Speaker, and that's really key to the basis of Papawai, Mr. Speaker. It's the how would you put it? It's a feeling of wairua when you go on there, Mr. Speaker, and it's no wonder that Papawai Marae was the basis for our kotahitanga, our first Māori Parliament, Mr. Speaker. All in all, as I said, the Trust gives a third of its income to post-primary education fund and scholarships, and as well as, and as I've said, it goes across the whole of the country, Mr. Speaker, as long as, and people who belong to the Anglican Church that of Māori descent to Papawai. There's not much more that I can really add to my kōrero. I just want to finish off with this whakatauki, and I think it's poignant for Papawai because it's had years of history, and when I translate it, you will see that it's very poignant for closing my speech today. E hara taku toa I te toa takitahi he toa taki mano. My strength is not individual, but comes from thousands, and that describes Papawai and the Kaikokirikiri Trust. Kia ora.